Hello, this is Paul Rosen, another edition of the Rosen Report, powered by the National Benefit Authority. And I have with us today Kevin Rempel. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
What's going on, Paul?
Excellent. Great to have you here. Now, Kevin was born on September 15th in 1982. Kevin is a motivational speaker. We're going to talk about his what happened to him in motocross. Kevin has won a world championship gold medal from Korea in 2013. He was also in the Paralympic Games in Sochi, Russia in 2014, which I had the honor of calling their games, where he won a bronze medal, and we'll show that to you. Stay tuned for all of that talk. First, we're going to get into the motocross end of it. So something that I didn't know anything about, motocross. So you started motocross, you're a motocross trick rider in Ontario. Tell us about that and what happened from that.
Sure. So when I was around 18, 19, I started bricklaying just as a part-time job. And when I was on the job site, I kept working every day, knowing that I wanted to pursue that dream of riding, and I had enough finally at one point on January 2nd, quit the job to start my freestyle motocross business. So I worked for the whole rest of that winter on unemployment, got this thing going, and July 1st, 2006, I did my first jump show ever on Canada Day weekend, and then 2 weeks later I was at another event, and first jump of the day, had to bail off the bike midair from 75 feet over a gap, and crashed and broke my back and became an incomplete paraplegic.
Wow, unbelievable. And you know what, and I've had the pleasure and the honor of talking to many people that through an accident, their life changed. And I will tell you now, if you get an opportunity, and we're going to talk to you over the next little while, but if you get an opportunity to talk to Kevin or hear him speak, not only is his story great, and I've had the opportunity over the last 15 years to do this, but he tells his story incredibly. And to me, that's the most important thing. Having a great story is one thing. If you can't tell your story and grip people and make them laugh and cry in the amount of an hour, then the story is a story. And your life has been unbelievable to take it where it was to where it is. When you, let's go back to that day when you broke your back. You have an inner strength about you that you knew, not knowing what would happen to you, but you knew that you were going to just achieve some great stuff.
Actually, you know what? I did a speaking gig a while ago for the OPP at a mental health symposium, and after that was done, one of the guys called me and we were discussing this. He's like, "Where do you get that inner strength from?" And I didn't know it at the time, but I answered the question by letting him know is that as a motocross rider, it's just part of our culture. It's part of the culture is that when you fall down, you get back up. Doesn't matter if you broke both your legs at the same time, you broke both your arms at the same time, is that as a rider, when you crash, when you get knocked down, you just think about, well, how soon can I get back on the bike? It's not a matter of like, how long am I going to stay down? It's just like, I know I'm going to do this and I'm setting my mind to it. So it's just it is a matter of time, but you just believe that that's how it works.
Yeah, and that's how you have to have it, and that's what brought you into your next career as a sled hockey player. We'll get to that in a few minutes. I want to talk to you about concussions. I know I had a number of concussions over my career. So concussion in motorsport and motocross, it must be something that happens all the time.
It sure does. At the pro level racing or just backyard riding, it will a lot. I fortunately have never been like knocked out cold, but when I was riding, I hit my head hard enough that multiple times I would see stars. And then like to this day, just randomly, I can't say that it like significantly in any way like affects my life, but like I'll just be bend over and stand up and I'll see stars, or in the shower sometimes. I don't know if those are the after effects. I think they could be, but it happens a lot. And so I think the more that this is becoming apparent in motocross and hockey and any other kind of sport, that we're finally becoming more aware that it's something you need to pay attention to and give yourself time to heal from.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't play a doctor on TV, and I'm not a doctor. But I will guarantee you, Kevin, that 100% the effects when you're coming up and seeing stars, 100% that is the effects of a concussion. And you probably had a few that you didn't realize, or you were that old school guy that was too tough to actually, back off, and you were going to punch through it. The one thing that I've said many, many times on the Rosen Report and to people when I've done my talks is that, in my opinion, concussion, it 100% leads to addiction and leads to depression. I've had both of them in my life, and we're going to talk about that right now. I was addicted to pain medication for almost 20 years. It led to depression. Depression leads to suicide, and it's touched you. I know that, and it touched me with my daughter attempting suicide a few times. Thankfully, she is still here, and we're working on that on a daily basis. But I know that a big part of your life and your talk and your purpose is to get people to understand mental health and the way people look at it still in 2016. So talk to us about what you really feel about this subject.
First of all, just through my personal story with my injury, but more so especially my dad, it's affected our lives significantly. So for you all you listening out there, the rest of the story is that my dad was also paralyzed 4 years before I was. We were out deer hunting, building a tree stand when my dad fell from the tree. He fell 2 stories, ended up breaking his back, and became a complete paraplegic just 1 year from retirement. And in that 4 to 5 year window, then I had my accident 4 years after him. And then in my 1 year recovery, my mom ended up leaving my dad from his depression. That was part of the problem that he wasn't willing to change, but his gambling addiction, playing a victim to his injury, he felt like spending his pension money through retirement was okay. My mom ended up leaving my dad. We supported her, my family, my grandmother and my sister supported her in that. And then 7 weeks later, he took his own life. So at that time, it didn't affect me too much. But then a year later, I felt that way. And it was actually when I was on Percocet. I was still going off and on pain medication for my injury. And in 2 weeks, I got addicted to Percocet. And then one night, I had just, I don't know if you want to go there right now.
Yeah, but absolutely. I want to go there. Yeah.
It's in my book. I wrote, the truth is what happened is that this night I was laying in bed and your brain's telling you, your dad did it, why don't you do it too? Nobody would blame you. And so I was at my kitchen counter and grabbed the knife out of the knife block. And I had the tip touching my chest just to my brain was like, oh, what does it feel like? And I ended up snapping out of it because I realized when I felt that, I'm like, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to go out like my dad. I don't want that to be the last chapter of my story.
Right.
And so I slammed the knife down. That night ended up I was on medicinal marijuana even for my injury, and I smashed my bong, and I just said no more. And that was when I started to turn that around, and I'm not doing that. But that was the first incident, and then after the Olympics, I went through some depression again too. And the point being is just that it's unfortunately I feel like given what my dad did, it's hard to shake those thoughts.
Yeah.
And so now I just have to always do everything I can to put yourself in the best position mentally and physically to fight these thoughts and these demons in your mind. And so when I speak about mental health and I share my story is that I want to show you that it's possible to get out from that low spot. I know exactly what it feels like to feel like you're hopeless and helpless and you're in a bubble and you're the only one and nobody would understand you. So it's possible to get out of that. And I guess one of the key messages is just that at the end of the day, it's you. It's I believe entirely in pursuing services, whether it's medication or going to see a professional or holistic. But all these things at the end of the day come back to you taking responsibility that I have control over my life and my thoughts, and I'm going to take every positive necessary step I can to put myself in the best position to deal with this, and you can get yourself out of there. There's
no doubt. And I've known you for a few years, starting from 2010 in Vancouver, when we met. And I will tell everybody that the easiest thing to do is blame somebody. Say you gave up. That's the easiest thing. The toughest thing to do is help them get through it and help them get to the next level. You are a role model to me because of what you're doing on a daily basis, and I know what you're doing on a daily basis. You turned it around in so many ways, Kevin, and the one that blows my mind is after everything you've told us, and the average person that's watching will look and say, there's no way I could do it. There's not a chance. And listen to Kevin's story. Read his book when it comes out. You 100% can do it. 100%. This is Paul Rosen for the Rosen Report, and we will be back after these messages.
Are you or a loved one living with a disability? Over 500,000 Canadians are not receiving their disability tax credit. Disabilities include Crohn's, IBS, ADHD, addictions, diabetes, depression, and other mental or physical disabilities. The National Benefit Authority has helped over 40,000 Canadians receive their disability tax credit, and they can help you too. The process is risk-free. You don't pay any fees until you receive your money. Find out if you qualify. Call 1-855-456-6688.
2010, you're playing sledge hockey. We were at a tournament in the national team. We traveled around quite a bit, and we were at a tournament in London, Ontario, their Blizzard tournament. And tell everybody what you did, because I find this, some people would say gutsy, maybe arrogant. No way, man. I say it's phenomenal, absolutely incredible. Tell us what you did.
With the business card?
Yeah.
Just, spend the first couple years playing house league and go to the rink by myself, no hockey puck, just fall down, pick yourself back up and fall down and get up and just doing everything I could to get better. And so I think it was 2010 or like right before that, we were at the London Blizzard tournament. You guys were getting on the ice to do a demo. And so I'm like, oh, the Team Canada guys are here and there's the autograph table up front. And I walked up with my homemade business card and I handed it to the manager, Adam Crockett. I was like, can you guys, you should give me a call. Like, I'm a pretty good player. And I never got a call.
No, hey,
the year after, I kind of got an invitation to come try out. But it was funny because in hindsight, it's like, who does that? But
you know what? You know who does it? It's somebody who's got guts and drive, determination, and wants to be a winner. That's who does it.
I'll tell you that exactly. Like when you believe that much in yourself, you're not worried about being embarrassed. You're doing whatever it takes to get noticed and to get yourself to the next level.
Yeah, and ultimately it worked because he made the Canadian sled hockey team. I've been very fortunate to have competed in 3 Paralympic Games. It's the ultimate playing for your country. You pick that jersey up for a second, brother. Putting that jersey on, as you see behind us, all my jerseys, it is unbelievable. So he put that Canadian jersey on, and I want you now, Kev, I want you to tell everybody, from all those dark days, those days of severe depression, and now you come out in Sochi, Russia. We're going to talk about the World Championships and that beautiful ring in a second, but you come out in Sochi, Russia, game 1, you put that jersey on. What does it feel like?
You know what? I'm going to take it back even before game 1 is like the first time you'll ever walk into the locker room and you see your stall.
Yep.
And you see your name on the jersey. And I know you're always playing for the front of the jersey. You're not playing for the back of the jersey. But there's that moment as well where you feel proud of your accomplishments, that you get to now be a part of that team that does represent your country. But when we were on the ice in Sochi, that feeling for sure is that you know that the world is watching and you know you're representing everybody. You start thinking about like all the people that were supporting you over the last several years, not only since you made the Team Canada, but like, the first 2 years as I was just playing house league and, my landlord at my apartment building who would help me fix my sled in the basement and cut tubes and borrow a, like, you know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that, so when you're on the ice there, and tell me, I'm not going to turn around here on you, but that's the stuff you think about is that like, I'm very proud to have been here, but like, I think about all the people that helped get me there and that are watching and that you're inspiring, like you say, because then when you have that platform, whether it's on the ice or on a podium, that's when you get the privilege to share your story to help inspire the next generation, not only of athletes and just people in general that need to hear these kind of stories.
And unfortunately, and we've been around a lot of athletes, we're not going to mention names that make a difference now, but there's very few that will take it to the next level like you've done and help people. Like winning a gold medal, winning a bronze medal, competing in Olympic, it's phenomenal. It's incredible. but then taking it to that next level to help people, that is beyond incredible. Before we get into a few other things, pick up that bronze medal.
Yeah. I got a pretty good story about this one too.
All right, hold on one second. So this is a bronze medal from Sochi, Russia. Unbelievable. Very, very proud to have called that bronze medal game with Rob Snook from CBC, and they beat Norway in that game. Norway was one of my rivals for years. I don't know if you know this, but I'm still not allowed in Norway.
Oh, really? I just thought you were going to say you're still pissed at Pedersen.
No, Pedersen,
Probably.
he's a great player, but he is who he is. You know, what can you do?
When you're on the ice, we're not friends.
No. And I'm joking. I am allowed in anybody watching Norway. Love you. Oslo, great place. Don't know if it'll be back soon, but show the ring for a second too. That's the ring from the World Championships. You only get the ring when you win gold, but in 2013 in Korea, they won gold. We saw Greg Westlake's ring. You've got the same ring. I have a few rings. Unfortunately, my ring's a little smaller because as you compete more and there's more money in the games, the ring gets a little bigger. So you got
medals. The rings and the medals have all gotten bigger.
Yeah. So you sometimes bigger.
I wonder what South Korea is going to look like.
Sometimes bigger isn't better, but we will say that is phenomenal. I'm very, very proud of you. Yeah, who knows with South Korea what they will be like. But so you had the opportunity, World Championships, gold medal in the World Championships, bronze medal in the Paralympic Games. Tell us a funny story about the bronze medal.
The story's from actually after I'd gotten back home.
Okay.
So if you had the chance to check out the medal, everyone's like, oh, it's sick, it's beautiful, it's got all this design and stuff, and then they always put their finger over top of the braille for the Paralympics.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, braille, it's so sick. But I'm like, yeah, but who actually knows how to read braille, right? Not many people.
If you're blind. But
if you're blind.
Yeah.
So I ended up at a blind hockey event.
Okay.
Of all the disabled sports, right? We got amputee hockey, blind hockey, sledge hockey.
That's incredible you talk about that because Mark Del Montes, who was a dear, dear friend of mine.
That's the guy who got me.
He's going to be on the show very soon.
Yeah, Mark's a phenomenal guy. And he's done so much for that sport. He's really grown it a lot. So I'm at Mark's event. I was at it for the last 2 years. And at this year's event, I meet a guy named Blaze. And I said, oh, Blaze.
Yeah.
You know Blaze?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. So I'm like, Blaze, can you read my medal for me? He's like, yeah, sure. So he he rubs his finger on. He's like, oh, I can't figure it out. Can you turn it around? I'm like, sure. So I turn around. He's like, no, I still can't figure it out. And I turn it back. He's like, oh, man, I can't figure it out. And I'm with my friend Nancy. And Nancy's like, oh, maybe it's not in English. Maybe it's in Russian. And so Blaze is like, oh, give it back. So he takes the medal back. He's like, oh, I know what it says. I'm like, what, Blaze, what? He goes, it says vodka. So nice little Russian medal. At least that's the story I tell him now, that the medal has vodka on it.
Well, there you go. And you never know what you're going to find when you go to Olympic or Paralympic Games anywhere in the world because it is what it is. And Sochi was, from talking to the guys, Sochi was an incredible journey, incredible opportunity. But you bring back some crazy stories. Now, if you could talk now, Kevin, you're in your 30s, the next stage of your life, written your book. You could go back and talk to the 15-year-old Kevin Rempel. What would you say to him?
So the 15-year-old, just keep doing what you're doing. In fact, I don't have many regrets. I think that overall, the one thing that might come to mind is just to have more patience. And that goes just in life, it goes in sport, it goes with everything that I've been through or am still going through, to just have some more patience for things to work out.
It's been an absolute honor. Kevin Rempel, unbelievable athlete, unbelievable person, perseverance, dedication, determination. It's a story about a guy who was throwing a lot of curveballs in his life, and instead of backing off the plate, he smashed that ball out of the park. It's an honor, buddy.
Cheers.
Now, strap your seatbelt on. The best part of the show, I think, rapid fire on the Rosen Report is powered by the National Benefit Authority. You ready?
I'm ready, man.
All right. Favorite movie?
Anchorman.
That was fast. Favorite restaurant?
You can't ask these questions. What if these are security questions online?
Favorite restaurant?
Any shawarma place.
Okay. Name of your first pet.
Max.
Okay. First car.
Hold on, Paul. You're like literally asking like every security question there is.
People do not go on any of...
What are you doing here? Has he got my bank card number somewhere too?
I do not. Go ahead, first car.
First motorcycle was...
You can lie about things too. Nobody knows.
A Honda Civic?
Okay, all right.
No, I didn't drive a Honda Civic. I've driven nothing but a pickup truck my whole life.
Okay, so beautiful. A pickup truck. No name, no make, no model, no license plate number. People. We will get CSIS in on this. Favorite country?
Canada.
Favorite city?
Toronto now.
Okay. Favorite food?
Well, we hit that with a shawarma. I like sushi as well.
Okay, cool. Favorite sport?
Sledge hockey.
Perfect. If there's one thing in the world you could change, Kevin, what would it be?
Just the awareness and the belief and stigma still around mental health issues is that having gone through so much of it, what's crazy about it is that, you know, I say this in speeches and presentations all the time, is that nobody wants to be the first one to speak up. But as soon as you speak up first, someone else is going to say that I, like, me too. Me too is like the next thing that I get from so many is that nobody wants to be that labeled that way. But when you speak up first, you give others permission to do the same, and then you're helping them. So just having gone through it, I want to be able to bring more awareness to it. I'll be the voice for it and help everyone else deal with it at the same time.
Fantastic. Awareness and education. That's what it's all about, getting people to understand, not be afraid, but understand. It's been a great show. This is Paul Rosen for the Rosen Report, powered by the National Benefit Authority. Until next time, be well.